family businesses contribute a lot to an economy. They are the ones that generate jobs that quite often are not counted or are not absorbed into the big corporations. For instance, most family businesses are informal. They're informal businesses. So they may not even be counted. But if you look at the size, for instance, in Africa, especially in Africa, a country like Mozambique, a country, whichever country you want to consider in Africa, but that it applies, maybe except South Africa, you know. But then you look and see that majority of the economy is informal. It's an informal economy. It's an economy where 80% of the businesses are really in the informal markets, and jobs are created from the informal market. Now, the formal market, it represents a very small niche, not even 20% that I'm saying 80%, it's really less than that, you know. And what you do have, for instance, in Mozambique, you can consider the informal market, to be about 17%, depending on which of this you look at, but it's really, truly about 17%, because we are seeing, especially when the economy becomes so tough as it has been in the last 5 years, many formal businesses are moving into the informal sector. So, through the informal sector, we're seeing, we see with the families' livelihoods are being derived from the informal sector. So family businesses, they contribute a lot, because through these tough moments that we've been going through, we had COVID, and even before COVID, for instance, in the case of Mozambique, we had a difficult financial situation where there was a fraud uncovered, So the economy suffered a lot, and we saw the big corps, that were pumping money into the economy, in securing the formal businesses to continue having revenue, the government that had taxes and all these things. Starting those big corps were affected. They stopped pumping money into the economy. The jobs that were being created through the formal market were affected. Many people were laid off. Taxes reduced significantly. Then came COVID, and it affected it all, formal and informal businesses. And we have a situation where even after COVID, almost 2 years after COVID, we still feel a great pinch, into the economy. The formal business are still trying to recover. Many big corps have not recovered the large projects, So we have the situation where the informal businesses are the ones holding the economy. They're the ones still creating jobs, and we need to recognize that. We need to be able to stop and say, how do we support the family businesses? Being small, being large, yes, they will not only be small businesses. We have large businesses, for instance, in the transport sector, in technology, and all that. We have large businesses as that are family businesses, and many companies that we know worldwide. Walmart, that is from the Walton family. We've got the Berkshire, from Warren Buffett. We have, for instance, if you are in Africa, you're listening to this, you know the Pick and Pay, ShopRite, all those companies, they are originated as family business, and many of them are still the majority of the shares are still held by families. But if you really look at the ranking worldwide, you'll see that 750 of the largest businesses in the world their family capital. They started as family businesses, and that is amazing because we do not realize that the Samsungs of this world, that the Toyotas of this world, we don't realize, that all these companies, they actually started as family businesses, but they grew. Economies like Germany, France, Brazil, the U.S., China, India, yeah, they have a very strong family business history because all these big companies were created from a family. They started from a family and they grew. They opened capital. They went into the stock market and so forth. So if you really were to combine the revenue from all these large 750 companies in the world, you actually realize that they represent about $9 trillion, and they employ over 30 million people, so they on their own they represent more than a country, okay, and if they were combined. And in Europe there are 325 companies of the 750 largest businesses are family owned and family originated. So you're talking about 43% of companies. In the US, they were about in up to 2021 or 2022. The family businesses, they represented about sorry, there were 161 out of 750, now of the largest 750 companies. About $2.9 trillion coming from family businesses. In and in Germany had, of the 161, Germany has 103 of those companies. Can you imagine, a country alone having 103 of the largest 750 largest company of the continent, of the European continent? That's $1.7 trillion. So just for you to really look and actually reflect on the importance of supporting family businesses. And those countries, they understood, the importance. So they have put laws, they put, structures in place to actually support family businesses. And that is what we need in other countries. We need that to see that in the African continent. We need to see more of that in the Asian continent, although there are structures also being put in place and supporting those businesses. But especially in the African continent, we need more of that. Our governments haven't yet realized the importance of supporting family businesses. We're all talking about micro and small, medium businesses, how it supports SMEs and all these things. Hello, those SMEs are majority family owned. How do you actually tackle the issue? Because a family business is different than just a pure, normal business, I can say, traditional business. There are the intricacies of bringing family together with business is high. You need to ensure that you actually put in place structures that help people separate but still deal with the family issues. Because come on, you're dealing with your brother and your sister. If you fought at home, you bring that into the business, and that your decision making is not so clear as it is in the traditional business. You've got the emotion of, I'm working with my father, I'm working with my mom, this is my sibling, this is my cousin. So when you actually make decisions, there's that tick of emotion in there. How do you help people separate those? Because they still have to go home and deal with the husband at dinner table. So how do you help people to separate the issues? How do you help people separate the issues of succession planning? How do you help them to ensure that all the monies are separated, money from the family and money from the business? Because sometimes they are investing, or using their personal, the family business, the family resources into the business. But then, if the money, if the revenue comes in for the business, they take it out and they pay a holiday or buy a family car. How do you separate these things? So we need to talk more about that. And this show, this podcast, intends to tackle those issues. So I welcome you to join us. I know whichever industry you are, that and you have a family business, don't worry, this is the show for you. Join us, and we'll be talking about that, because these are real issues that we deal with, that we need to tackle, and we need to be able um, to handle them, to be able to ensure that our family businesses succeed, that when we die, they actually continue to exist. So we need to look at succession planning, we need to look at developing a legacy, you need to look at structuring the business, your business. How do you structure your business? How do you ensure it lasts? How do you bring your children into the business? Even if you have family, how do we handle that family to ensure that we do not build or spend 20, 30 years building a business and it dies with us? You don't want them putting you in the coffin, and actually they are not only you, but they're also putting your business into that coffin, because the moment you die, there will be no successor to take over. People, where even if you've left family in the business, they do not understand how to go ahead. They start fighting, and in less than a year, your business is dead. So it's important that you actually prepare. Statistics say that second generation business do not last much. So about only 28% of those businesses last. Third generation only is less than 8%. So if less than 8% of third generation businesses last, wow, you've spent your life for nothing. How do we actually prepare the next generations to take over our businesses so that they last, so that they become cross-generational? And do we have more African businesses becoming, global companies? The Samsungs of this world. They are global companies because they develop strategies. Walmart developed strategies. Warren Buffett has a strategy. He knows exactly what's going to happen the moment he falls dead, because he developed strategies. So we, as family businesses, we have also to be able to develop strategies, because there are advantages in working with family. There's a commitment of family to ensure that it goes on, to the business grows. There is that feeling that this is ours, the ownership, and we are hiring people that we know, that we trust. And family businesses are known to hire, within communities, to sustain communities. So that is certainly good, because we also are reinvesting into the community, into our own business, into our own generation. So you want that, right? And also the transmission or the transfer of knowledge. In family businesses, we have that. We want to be able to ensure that our children or the people that work with us know what we're doing. So studies show that there's a tendency for a greater transfer of knowledge and abilities in family businesses. So because it's cross-generational. So my father, my mother, you start sharing that knowledge, and it passes from one member to the next. But there needs to be clear vision of the founder, on how to do that. So that is certainly something that you want to do. And also there's reputation. This that reputation. Oh, no, 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 no. You can go to Johnny's. Johnny's, they are, they are in the community. They will provide you a great service. So that reputation, So you bring those around you. So you have a natural or organic clientele because they know who you are. You are part of the community. You give back to the community. So, that reputation is important. Of course, there are some disadvantages and which we need to look at, right? There's the complexity of dealing, with family. So, like I said earlier, we need to be able to separate both, and that's why we need the strategy. Of course, there's also cases of lack of discipline. Oh, this is my business, this is my family's business. Oh, worse, this is my father's business. So, the kid doesn't really show on time, doesn't come every day, all these kind of things. So we need to create some discipline. That's why the rules, you need to set up those rules, and we can look at that in the next episode. What kind of rules you need to put in place, and how to go about it. And also, like I said earlier, there's the informal. It may be informal. If not only because it's not registered, but and which can be registered, but also the way you do things, the way you take money out, the way you take money in. In terms of hiring, recruiting people, buying things. Sometimes you don't really follow the due process. So it's important that you organize your business in such a way that there are structures, so to avoid that informality, because that informality will certainly affect your business. Okay, so for you to have success as a family business, it's important that you have a clear vision. You plan exactly what you want your business and your family to achieve in 20-30 years. You make sure that the objectives are clear to everyone in the business, so they are part of the objective settings, and the family is also part of that. And you also need to ensure that you are managing, your assets clearly. We need to look at the assets of the family, we need to look at the assets of the business, and you need to invest in that. And this is something that we'll certainly be talking about in the coming episodes. Because asset management and investment are certainly something that we need to look at, because sometimes we create wealth, but the wealth is so intertwined with the business and all that if something happens in the business, the family also loses. So we need to look, we'll be looking at that. Okay. So things that we'll be looking in the next episodes and that I'll be sharing with you is really how to create a strategy, how to create a vision, how to create good governance in your business, how to ensure that your family business is professionalized, meaning in terms of the different functions. How do you ensure that whoever is part of it knows exactly what they have to do, being a family member or not. How you can bring leadership that's not only from the family but also external, and how you can even consider opening capital, going to the stock market, and to find additional resources, and how you can actually build a family council, to ensure that you are managing the interests of the family, and creating a legacy and resilience as well. We'll talk about resilience of a family, because that's one of the strengths of a family business, that's quite resilient. We stick together, we stick through thick and thin, So we'll be certainly talking about that. Okay, so I look forward to your company. We'll be having guests in some of the episodes. We'll be talking with people that are family-owned businesses. They started their business or they inherited the business. We'll be talking to specialists that assist family-owned businesses, the international specialists from different organizations that they have been doing this for a lot of time, for a long time. So I'll be inviting them to participate. So to attend, to share the podcast, let us grow, let us support each other as family-owned businesses, and to ensure that we actually become global businesses. You can check my the YouTube channel. You can check my personal pages on Instagram and Facebook. We do have as also a Facebook page for the Family Business Forum. So I'll leave all the links in the description box. So, and please use the chat. Tell me what or where you're listening from. Tell me what kind of businesses you run, what challenges you face, what you would like to hear in this podcast regarding family businesses, so that I can actually tailor the episodes for you. Okay? There will be some sessions that will be live, so that you can actually participate as well. So I'll inform you ahead of time. But I look forward to actually share this time with you in this podcast. And thank you. Thank you so much. Be blessed. I wish you all a blessed 2024, that this will be a year where we will all have and build great businesses, stronger businesses, businesses that will last. Be blessed. Thank you.